Rooster Teeth is the gift that just keeps giving, unless you're one of the employees. And I don't mean upper management, I mean one of the regular employees. Upper management, they seem to be doing pretty well. You don't see those people really struggling, even the ones who were let go. Seems like they're doing all right. But it's the other employees, the innocent people who just needed a job, who work there, that I really feel for. I have a feeling they're not being treated too well. And what am I basing that off? How they treat their own fans. I mean, dude, I every time I make a video on RT, I want to start with a little brief recap because there's so much nonsense through 2019, and that's really one of the main points to me making content about RT. It's not just the new content. Like, it's not just this topic I'm talking about today. It's this on top of everything else that's happened in 2019. And it's not like I'm digging through years and years of stuff from the company to look for like dirt on them. No, this is stuff from 2019. This is stuff from yesterday, from a few weeks ago, from a few months ago. Some of this stuff, again, is from like a day ago that we're talking about. But the point is, I don't know what's going on with this company, man, but this is not the signs of success. I can tell you that much in my humble opinion. Now, what are we talking about today? So I'm tagged on Twitter from my good buddy, GameWizard02. Shouts out to GameWizard. You've probably heard of him if you've watched some of my videos. He's helped me out with a good number of videos. Good dude. So I see he's also helping me out by promoting my video on Twitter. Shouts out to you, GameWizard02. If you guys are on Twitter, feel free to give him a follow if you like. And on that note, if you haven't followed me yet, link in the description as well. But GameWizard02 says, he has my video here and he says, the demise of RT has begun. It's never a good sign when you are having to close certain branches of your business due to costs. Yeah, I love, by the way, even what I put in the thumbnail, like literally words from their statement, lower demand for the products. I don't need to say much more than that, but I do, because we're talking about something else today. We're not just talking about stores closing or lower demand for the products. This time, there is demand for the products, but the products didn't actually end up right. So GameWizard adds this. But then again, maybe cost would not be as much of an issue for Rooster Teeth if they produced some of the merchandise the correct way the first time around. Yes, great point, GameWizard. It doesn't seem like it's rocket science, right? It's actually really ironic. So yeah, yesterday we're talking about how they had to close the store apparently due to costs, etc., etc. A little more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. And today, the best way of, not spending needlessly as a company is making errors, right? I mean, dude, take a look at this. So we've got these screenshots, but I actually have the Reddit threads pulled up. So apparently, these posters for Extra Life were printed backwards, and now they're having to reprint these only for the people who asked for them to be reprinted, it seems. So this is a Reddit post. It says, not sure if I'm just dumb or my Extra Life poster was printed backwards. And yes, unless you took this in a mirror and are like trolling us all, I think this is indeed backwards. But hey, it's not just this guy. There's also this guy. Just got my Extra Life poster and it's printed backwards. Oh, but there's also this person. Inverted Extra Life posters. And you can see, this one only has 4 upvotes, but that's because this has already been talked about. This one has 838 upvotes, 261 upvotes. So this is an issue that people are experiencing. Now, if you don't know what Extra Life is, I will admit this is at least something good that Rooster Teeth does do. I will give them full credit on this, absolutely. Extra Life, more or less, is an event they do. It's like a gaming event. I think they are a part of a group. I don't know if RT runs Extra Life. I think Extra Life might be a charity organization or something like that, and RT partakes in it. That said, they're probably one of the biggest people that partake in it, if that's the case. But regardless, Extra Life is like this charity thing for kids with health issues. It's obviously a serious topic. It's sad. I mean, it's sad when anyone has health issues, but especially someone who's so new to the world and has their whole life ahead of them. It's sad. So I'll admit, this is a good thing RT does. They do raise money for this cause, and they do it every year. I don't know when they got started, but they do it every year. So let me just be fully transparent. I think that's a good thing that RT does. Absolutely, I support them in that. But that doesn't take away from all the bad that's been coming out about the company in 2019. And again, I just feel like this is a company that's been slapping their fans in the face pretty much all year, in my opinion. Now, on the topic of Extra Life, before we continue on with this, I'll also mention Extra Life is a good thing. I'm reiterating it now. But we can take from the analytics of Extra Life, we can take very real information about how RT has burned their own goodwill. I forget the exact numbers, but I believe last year, Extra Life raised $1.4 million for charity. And the year before that, it was like 1.2. It's been raising year over year for the last few years. They've been making more and more money every year for the last few years until 2019. I believe the amount they raised in 2019 was about $900,000, down from about 1.4 million. That is a tremendous decrease. Huge decrease. Like, there's clearly an issue there. Now, I might have the numbers wrong a little bit, but I think that's pretty close to accurate. It was about 1.4 mil to 900,000. So, again, I'm not bashing Extra Life. This is a great thing that they do, but it's still very telling that they came out about $500,000 less than last year, when previously, Y over Y, year over year, they were increasing the amount that they had raised for Extra Life and charity. So, you take a look at that. You take a look at the prices going up, the 13% labor cut, the animation department, the claims against the conduct there, how they were allegedly not treating the employees very well at all, forced overtime, et cetera, managerial shuffling around, vicious circle becoming an epic failure and going free to play like a few months after it came out. Like, man, there's so much stuff. The DC plagiarism claims, those things. We could just go down the list. I mean, we kind of are, but it's too much for me to just remember off the top of my head. I literally need to write a list for this, and that's why I have a playlist called The Downfall of Rooster Teeth. And, as much as I would prefer, and I've said this over and over again, I would much prefer Rooster Teeth to just restructure and get out these corrupt people who are the corrupt people in my opinion? The people who will sit there acting like they're some progressive company that's so much better than everyone else, like they're doing all this great stuff, but they're really not. They're really not. Extra Life is good, but that's a community effort. And a lot of Extra Life, I mean, that's donations from the community. So it's not like the upper managerial people are, some of them are taking a lot of, are putting a lot of work in the Extra Life. Like, they go on screen and do little bits and stuff like that. But a lot of upper management there is just sitting there, man, probably laughing their way to the bank as the company falls apart. They're going to be fine. What about the innocent people who just needed a job that got stuck working at Rooster Teeth? What about those people? Are they going to be fine? What happens if this does get absorbed into HBO or Cartoon Network, et cetera, et cetera? Let me get a sip of coffee. That's what I worry about, man. That's why I do say I would much prefer RT be fine and just restructure and solve these problems, because there is a lot of innocent, good people working there. And now I've said in a video the other day, when that Quinn thing came out, there we go. Forgetting about that one. Oh, and did you guys see how poorly RT handled that situation with Quinn? I reported on it in a bit, but I never actually closed that story out. There is an update that I'm going to be making probably tomorrow on that. So just a heads up. I gave RT very ample time. And I don't want to sound like I'm sitting here being like, oh, yes, I gave RT time like I'm some judge or something. So don't get the wrong idea. What I mean by that is just in my opinion, I think it was reasonable to give them like a good week or two to come up with a good response and get the information they needed regarding Quinn. If you don't know who Quinn is, that was the VP of Product and Engineering, and he was terminated from the company. At least that's what one source is reporting on a Sunday. Interesting how RT would update that single source on a Sunday, the day when Saturday and Sunday, you can look this up online, analytics, statistics, they point to both those days being by far the least viewed days for news in mainstream news. This was a mainstream news outlet. I think they were like an NBC affiliate or something like that. One of those mainstream news sites out there. Anyways, that was quite rambly. So let's take a look. This is pretty much the gist of it though, man. They print these Extra Life posters out. It gets printed backwards. And yes, it's not a good look. So they do have a community lead manager, Chatty Kinson. I guess Kinson's her name. I don't think Chatty's her first name, but who knows? Oh, Chelsea. There you go. So a little play on the name, I guess. Chelsea Atkinson, Chatty Kinson, lead community manager, says this. Hey, Op, I'll be DMing you shortly to get your details if you'd like a replacement heart. Now, I'll give them this much as well. From what I've seen, this community manager, I think, is at least doing a somewhat decent job at handling this. She's apparently DM'd a good number of people. She also posted an update like a month ago regarding the compromised accounts. So like I said earlier in this video, there is literally a list of issues with RT in 2019. Like there's another issue I forgot to bring up. Accounts on their forums were compromised, and they were trying to get people to go to adult websites. These like bots that were getting into the account somehow. I don't know, man. It's a whole mess. So at least it seems like she's doing decent at reaching out. Now, I've definitely got criticism for there's another RT person on Reddit. I forget who it is. Community manager or something. I don't think it's Chatty Kinson because I don't see it under her posting history. But whoever posted the update to the Quinn situation on the Reddit thing, super sketchy, very, very bad way of handling it, in my opinion. They simply just posted a link to the updated article, and literally the Reddit post, the title was just update. Update, that's it. Now you compare that to like Chatty Kinson here, who says on an update post, update on the compromised accounts on roosterteeth.com. Take a look. Update on the compromised accounts on roosterteeth.com. And then when it's the Quinn situation, whoever made that post, and I don't think it's Chatty unless she deleted it, and I don't think that's what happened. I do think there's another one that I'm just not, I don't have it pulled up ahead of time. I didn't think we'd be talking about the Quinn stuff here, but it led into that. That person just said update. They didn't say update on Quinn. They didn't say update on the scumbag. I don't want to get this video restricted too. This video's been fine so far. There's so many words I could use here for Quinn, man. But let me put it like this, without using any like word that'd be really bad. Some of the claims that his wife was leveling against him in her affidavit was that she woke up to him laughing at her after he had knocked her out. She also had like her hand slammed in the door when she was trying to run away one time, and she fears for her and her child. Like, I'm using the least amount of volatile language I could for a situation that's very volatile and deserves that language. But here we are, man. You know how it is on this platform. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know what's going on with this company. So now, you know, while I said that at least they're handling the situation decently, it seems like they're reaching out to people, offering remedies. Let's go back to the cost. This is just more cost that they're incurring now when they just like 24 hours ago said that they had to close their Australian store because costs. Paraphrase a little bit. Like, oh my goodness. Doing a wonderful job, Rooster Teeth. Doing a wonderful job. It's pretty much all I got for this video, though. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving your thoughts in the comments below, or at least hitting the thumbs up button and or sharing the video. All that stuff helps out greatly. And if you want to do a bit extra, consider becoming a patron on Patreon, link in the description, or becoming a channel member with that nifty join button next to the subscribe button if you see it. Some people, I think it's only in the US because some people say they don't see it, and I don't know how else that would work, so I think that might be a thing. But hey, for the awesome people who promoted the last 2 vids on Twitter, shouts out to Bruno, Codenex, the Lancaster Kid, Super Speed 21, YT, Skella Kitty, Jake Beardsley. Hey, I like that last name. Reminds me of Alan B. Beardsley from G Gundam. 2020 Honey. And we got Blasian Domo, Bruno, Codenex, Ishra, Dark, Raven, Wood, the Lancaster Kid, Amethyst Tsukiyama, Sean, and John Edward CA. Hashtag thank you, Darren. And thank you all very much. I'll see you next time.